Have you ever tried to create a React component and felt stuck on how to define a constructor without using the traditional class syntax? It can be a bit confusing, right? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to clarify how to specify a constructor using functional components with fat arrow syntax. I totally get it. Many developers have faced this challenge when transitioning from class components to functional components. It can feel like you're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. You're definitely not alone in this. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked, how do I add a constructor where I can define the state without using the extends React component syntax? This is a common scenario when working with React functional components. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what's the deal with constructors and functional components? Unlike class components, functional components don't have a built-in constructor. However, we can use the useState hook to manage state effectively. This allows us to achieve similar functionality without the class syntax. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that will make your React development even smoother. To specify a constructor in a functional component, the user can utilize the useState hook from React. This allows them to manage state without needing to extend React.component. Next, the user should declare the state variable and its updater function using the useState hook. This can be done at the beginning of the functional component. Now, the user can modify the handle keyUp function to update the state when the enter key is pressed. This will allow them to capture the input value. Finally, the user should render the input field and bind the value to the state variable. This ensures that the input reflects the current state. Fun fact, did you know that React was developed by Facebook and was first released in 2013? It has since become one of the most popular libraries for building user interfaces. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. One alternative approach is to use the useMemo hook to act as a constructor for your functional component. This method allows you to define state without needing to extend React component. It's important to note that while some suggest using useEffect, it will only run after the component has rendered. Let's take a look at an answer from another user. One alternative approach is to use the useState hook at the beginning of your functional component. This allows you to define the initial state without needing to extend React component. You can also run a function as the initial value, which executes when the component first renders. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. This user clarifies that you cannot specify a constructor in a stateless functional component like the one shown. They explain that this type of component does not have state or lifecycle methods. To create a stateful component, you would need to use a class component instead. Let's take a moment to review another user's answer. An alternative approach to specifying a constructor in a functional component is to use the useEffect hook. This allows you to simulate a constructor by running initialization code when the component loads. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach suggests using a custom hook called useOnce. This hook allows you to run a function before the component mounts, similar to a constructor. It utilizes useRef to store the result of the callback, ensuring it only runs once. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always remember to keep your state management simple and organized. This will save you a lot of headaches down the road. And there you have it. You've learned how to specify a constructor in a functional component using the useState hook. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more React tips and tricks. And remember, practice makes perfect.